Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to Maverick Baking. Ladies and gentlemen, as you are probably overwhelmingly aware, it is the festive season, the holidays, Christmas time, December, winter, the horrible period of seasonal depression. That's where we are at the moment. And this is usually a season in which we are utterly bombarded with new products, novelty products, and let's be honest, products in different Christmassy packaging that have 50p added onto the price, and we still pay for it. However, in this year of 2020, due to many rather obvious reasons, this isn't something we're seeing as often, but we are still being treated to some interesting, unexpected, and often intriguing new products. Yes, folks, today we are going to be tasting, discussing, and reviewing the Quality Street Intrigue. And I'm going to be letting you guys know if this fancy box is worth your fancy money. Quality Street you will probably be familiar with if you are from the UK or if you have ever visited or lived in the UK at any point. It is something that is usually seen most often around Christmas and the festive period. Do excuse my neighbours who decide that every day is a good day to saw something outdoors. Quality Street is usually found in purple boxes or purple tins full of a selection of brightly foil and plastic wrapped sweets. Now, they are by no means my favourite sweets. Nestle do not make the best quality chocolate. Quality Street, I feel, never really offers a huge variety of flavour or texture. They are all fairly similar, apart from those horrendous ones that are purely made of tooth-wrecking toffee. So I was very interested when I saw this new box. Now, I do believe there is another flavour of these Quality Street Intrigue, but I have yet to see them. But I picked up these praline truffle Intrigue from my local co-op and I just couldn't resist trying them out. While I will say I don't have the highest hopes just due to my own personal bias, I must say I quite like the packaging. It's a little bit funky. It reminds me a bit of the kind of upmarket Aero products and the upmarket Kit Kat Senses products you see nowadays. But just what is intriguing about the Quality Street Intrigue, you ask? These are milk chocolate truffles with a hazelnut flavoured centre covered with a caramelised hazelnut piece coating. So the cocoa solids are like 30% minimum, which means that, you know, they're probably not going to be the strongest if you are kind of a fan of actual chocolate flavour. That's a matter for another day. The main ingredient in these, as with many other Quality Street products, is sugar. You also have other various disguised sweeteners and flavour enhancers such as sorbitol, butterfat, glucose, and even everyone's favourite, invertase. I have no idea either. Short disclaimer, my lovely partner Francesco has already been raking around in these, so the box is kind of half empty. But as he has neither violently vomited nor died in the past few days since, I can only hope that these are, you know, not that bad. Anyway, let us get in and taste one of these. I would say probably smaller than kind of a classic or even typical modern chocolate truffle. Definitely quite dinky, sort of a semisphere shape. And you can see all those nice kind of crispy caramelised hazelnuts and a plain chocolate butt underneath. They don't look terrible. I actually quite like how kind of rugged they look. It makes them look a little bit kind of handmade, which is always nice. Definite Nestle chocolate smell from this. Now, that may sound very specific, but Nestle chocolate does taste very specific and very meh. There is a little bit of that kind of hazelnut smell coming through, though I must say it's more the smell of Nutella than an actual tray of roasted hazelnuts, for example. Anyway, enough sniffing. Let's taste the Quality Street Intrigue and find out if it's worth your money before I drop any more hazelnuts all over myself and the carpet. Interesting. Let me just give you guys a close-up of this truffle. So you can see that there is that kind of relatively thick Nestle chocolate shell around the outside. And in the interior, you have that kind of dense and very fudgy, I must say, very kind of solid chocolate filling, which is a bit softer. I don't know if it's particularly hazelnut flavoured, but it has this kind of bitter cocoa powder flavour rather than the kind of smoothness of a chocolate ganache. Both the flavours and the textures are really quite strange. While there is nothing unpleasant, of course, it would be very difficult to make hazelnut and chocolate taste bad. Well, typically if you were eating, for example, a Lindt Lindor or any other kind of mainstream chocolate truffle, typically what makes products like that so good is that smooth, melting, buttery kind of center. The kind you can just sit in your mouth and roll around, leave the chocolate to melt, to kind of dissolve into this gorgeous, creamy chocolate delight. I do not get those vibes from these. Now, that may not really be the idea. Maybe the idea is for them to be weird and intriguing, but these really do have a strange kind of texture in the middle. The filling is quite dark looking, so you imagine it's going to have this kind of cocoa boldness, but rather than tasting of cocoa mass like you taste in dark chocolate, as I think I might have mentioned, there's this almost kind of cocoa powder flavor to it. It's very kind of flat, very burnt tasting almost. It's quite difficult to describe. And pairing that with the weird fudgy, almost chewy center this has, almost like that of a brownie, it's quite intriguing for all the wrong reasons. I will admit the chocolate around the outside and the little kind of crunchy hazelnuts do add a bit of textural intrigue. I'm still not wowed. The hazelnuts are a nice little touch. It kind of gives you that feeling of luxury that you get from Ferrero Rocher, for example. You know, you feel a bit fancy when you're eating them. These do feel fancier than a box of Quality Street. It still tastes like a box of Quality Street though. The Nestle milk chocolate around the outside is so nondescript, I feel like I haven't even really eaten anything. There's no kind of lingering texture. There's no lingering chocolate flavor. There's not even really a lingering sugary flavor, which is sometimes a pleasant side effect of cheap milk chocolate. It's just kind of, There is a little bit of a hazelnutty flavor in the filling, but again, it's the sort of muted, hyper sweet hazelnut flavor you would get from Nutella. Don't get me wrong, I love Nutella. This is by no means as good as Nutella or say a Ferrero or a Kinder product, but there is a tiny touch of that hazelnut flavor there, enough to put off someone who didn't like nuts, for example. But that is also kind of carried and better complemented by the crunchy hazelnut bits on the outside. Overall, I am intrigued, but I'm not happy about it. They are distinctly kind of fine. They are neither offensive nor wildly enjoyable. If you like Quality Street, you might love these, but I guess the issue that you face with these that you wouldn't face with a typical box of Quality Street is Quality Street comes with a bit of variety. If these were included with a variety of other truffles, the caramels, the toffees, whatever else is included in Quality Street, I think I could kind of live with it, but would I be happy just eating these alone as a treat? Not really. They're not kind of good or bold enough to carry themselves. I'm gonna give these kind of a distinct 3 out of 5. In my opinion, I would recommend you leave them on the shelf, and if you're going to invest your money on anything, stick it on a box of Quality Streets, or better yet, save up for a few more days, a few more weeks, and get yourself some good quality chocolate. Especially at this time of year, if it's from a local supplier, a craft supplier, or a small business, it's gonna do you and them a lot more good than it will giving Nestle your money. If you guys have tasted the Quality Street Intrigue, do let me know what you thought. Also, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to drop it a little thumbs up. It really helps the big, scary, unknown YouTube algorithm recommend me to more lovely people like you. But in the meantime, that is all I have time for today, guys. I hope the festive season is treating you well so far. I hope you're as happy and healthy as you can be with everything going on. And as always, thank you so much for being here. I'll see you for the next one.